Hello everyone, in this video we are going to learn how to send email to webinar registrants added via Google Forms. I want that whenever a new form response is captured through Google Forms, automatically by using the same response, a new registrant should be added in my GoToWebinar for a particular webinar. And at last I also want to send an email to the same person by using Gmail. So how we are going to do this process automatically and effortlessly? For that we will have to integrate all these applications, and for that we are going to use Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing automation and integration software. Now what we are going to do, we have Google Forms in our trigger, GoToWebinar and Gmail in our action. So we will be connecting all of them by using Pabbly Connect in order to automate this entire process. And to learn this entire process step by step, let me take you all to my screen. So in this video, we are going to learn that how can we automatically create a webinar registrant in GoToWebinar from Google Form responses, and after that how can we automatically send an email to that same registrant. Okay, so let's start learning this process step by step. So here I am going to use GoToWebinar in order to create the registrants. If you want, you can also use any other application. Now in order to create this automation, we will have to integrate Google Forms, GoToWebinar and Gmail. So in order to do that, we are going to use an amazing automation and integration software, Pabbly Connect, and this is the homepage of Pabbly Connect, where we can reach directly by typing pabbly.com/connect, this URL in our browser. Okay, once we will reach on this homepage, we can find that two options are given over here: sign in and sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you have to click on sign up for free button to create your free new account, and it is going to take only 2 minutes. Also at the time of account creation, you will get 100 free tasks to explore this amazing software. Now because I'm already an existing user, therefore I'm clicking on sign in. And this is the all app section of Pabbly, where we can find all the products which are offered by Pabbly. Now to create this workflow, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. So let's click on access now. And it is going to take us towards the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. So here on this dashboard, we can find all our workflows which we have created, and we can also create multiple folders like this in order to save our workflows. So as you can find that I have 2 folders over here. In this test integration folder, I have saved a lot of workflows. Okay, so in the same manner, you can create multiple folders and save your workflows accordingly in them. Okay, now to create a new workflow, we have to click on this create workflow option. So let's click on it. And here a dialog box is appear in front of us. First it is asking us to provide the name to this workflow. So let us give a name. So I have given the name as create registrants for webinar from Google Form responses and send email. So you can give any name to your workflows according to your choice. After giving the name, we can also select the folder in which we want to save this workflow. So from the drop down, I'm going to select this folder, test integrations. I want to save this particular workflow in this folder. Okay, now after this, let's click on create. So when we will do that, we can find that 2 windows are open in front of us. First is the trigger and the other is action. So what are trigger and actions? Trigger and actions are the basic principles or the basic concepts on which the entire workflow of this automation runs. Here we can have only one trigger in any workflow, but we can have multiple actions as we want. The trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. That means the action is the response towards our trigger. Now let's take the example of this workflow. Let's suppose here we are going to take Google Forms in our trigger and GoToWebinar in our action. And we want that whenever a new form will be submitted in Google Forms, automatically by using the same response, a new registrant should be created in GoToWebinar for a particular webinar. So here the trigger commands the workflow and the action follows that command. Now understanding the concept of trigger and action, let's start creating this workflow. First of all, we have to select our trigger application, which is Google Forms. So let's select it. And now we have to select the trigger event. So the trigger event is the event on the happening of which the workflow is going to trigger. So here we want that whenever a new response will be received from Google Forms, the workflow should get triggered. Okay, so let's select the trigger event, and here we have received a webhook URL along with some instructions. So this webhook URL is going to help us in order to connect Google Forms with Pabbly Connect. So this is going to act as a bridge in order to send the response of Google Forms here in Pabbly Connect. Okay, so let's just copy this webhook URL. And then I'm going to tell you exactly what we are supposed to do. So first of all, let us go on Google Forms. And here, this is the form which I have created. This is the registration form for webinar registrations. And as soon as a person is going to fill this form, the response is going to be captured in Pabbly Connect, and automatically the same person is going to be added in the form of a new registrant in GoToWebinar. So what we are supposed to do, we have to go on responses. And here we have to click on view in sheets so that we can view all the responses in sheets. So this is the spreadsheet which is linked to our Google form, and as soon as a new form will be submitted in Google Forms, automatically a new row will be added in this particular spreadsheet. Okay. Okay, so basically we have to connect this spreadsheet with Pabbly Connect so that we can capture the response of Google Forms in Pabbly Connect. Okay, and that we are going to do with the help of the webhook URL which we have received. So first of all, before that, let us go and fill up the registration form. The details could be added here in Google Sheets, and then we will connect this particular spreadsheet with Pabbly Connect to capture the response there in Pabbly Connect. Okay, so let us go on our form and we will go on settings option. And we will click on send and we will go on this link. So this is the link of our form. Let us click on shorten URLs and we will now copy it. Okay, and we are going to open this link in a new tab. So our form is open in front of us. Now we are going to fill the details one by one so that the form could be submitted. Okay, so first of all, it is asking us for the first name. So I am going to enter the first name as, let's say, test, and the last name as user. A random email, test500@pabblytudes.com, and at last the contact number. So I am going to enter a random contact number here. Done. Click on submit and the form is submitted. Now let's go and check the spreadsheet. We will refresh it and here we can find that the data is captured over here. Let me increase the size, and here is the timestamp, first name, last name, email, and the contact. So I am going to delete the above row. Okay, now we have received the details here. We are going to send these details to Pabbly Connect. Okay, so for that, let us connect this spreadsheet with Pabbly Connect. We have to go on the extensions option and then we have to go on add-ons, and here we have to click on get add-ons, and it is going to take us towards Google Workspace Marketplace. Now here we have to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks. Let's select it. And basically we have to install Pabbly Connect webhooks. As you can find that I have already installed it, so I'm going to cross it and then we will again go on extensions. So here we can find the option of Pabbly Connect webhooks. We have to click on initial setup, and here we have to do the initial setup in order to connect our spreadsheet with Pabbly Connect, and for that we have to enter two details over here, webhook URL and trigger column. So first of all, let us enter the webhook URL. So in this field we simply have to paste the webhook URL which we have copied from Pabbly Connect. Let's just copy it again and then we will go back on the spreadsheet and paste it here. Okay, and the next is trigger column. So what is trigger column? The trigger column is the column which will trigger the entire workflow. So whenever the data will be entered up till trigger column, then only the response is going to be captured in Pabbly Connect and the workflow is going to trigger. So basically the last column in which the data is entered in the spreadsheet is known as trigger column. So in this particular spreadsheet, the last column is column E and the data is entered last in this particular column. So this will be our trigger column. So we just have to enter capital E here in the trigger column field. Okay, now we will click on send test, and here our test data is sent successfully. So let's cross this and we will go back on Pabbly Connect. So here we can find that yes, we have received the response. So the data is received over here, and now by using the same data we are going to create a registrant in GoToWebinar. Okay, so we have received all the details, first name, last name, email, and the contact number of all the details which we have filled in the Google Forms. Okay, now let's move on towards our action step, which is creating a new registrant in GoToWebinar for a particular webinar. Okay, so let us select our action application as GoToWebinar, and now we will select the action event. So here our action event will be create registrant, as we want to create a new registrant for the webinar in GoToWebinar. Okay, let's select the action event and we will click on connect. Now here from the given options, I am going to select add new connection to build a new connection with GoToWebinar. If you already have an existing connection, you can also go with that. So I have selected the add new connection option, and now we have to enter two details over here, from time and to time. So in order to understand that, let me first take you to my GoToWebinar account, and this is the webinar in which I want to create new registrants. It is named as Connect Integration and it is scheduled on Tuesday, October 31st, 2023 from 10 AM to 5 PM. So this is the from time and this is the to time. So basically here we have to enter the start time and the end time of the webinar, but in the UTC format. So here we can find that the time is in IST format, but we will have to convert it so that we can enter the time in the UTC format in these fields. So first of all, let us copy this format and we will paste it over here. And first, let's change the date. So the date of the webinar is 31st October 2023. So in the place of this 03, I am going to enter the month as 10 and the date as 31st. Okay, now we are going to change the time. So the start time is 10 a.m. We will change 10 a.m. to UTC format, and for that I am going to use UTC to IST converter. Okay, so here I am going to enter the start time in the IST field. The start time is 10 a.m. So we will select it, and we can find that 10 a.m. in UTC format is 4:30 a.m. So we have to enter 4:30 a.m. in this time format. Okay, so I will change 10 to 04, and here I am going to enter 30. So the time is 4:30 and the date is 31st October 2023. Now we have successfully entered the from time in correct format. So we will copy it and we will paste it over here in 2 time, and the date is same, so we will just have to change that time. So now let's go back to UTC to IST converter again, and now our end time is 5 p.m. So I am going to type 5 p.m. here in IST time, and we can find that 5 p.m. is 11:30 a.m. in UTC format. Okay, so we will change it accordingly. Here in the place of 4, I am going to enter 11, and the 30 is already given over here. So this is the from time and this is the to time. Now after entering both the details correctly, we have to click on this connect with GoToWebinar so that we can authorize the app. Okay, so our connection is successful and GoToWebinar is connected with Pabbly Connect. Now after this, we have to enter the details over here. First of all, it is asking us for the webinar name. So it is already selected as Connect Integration. Okay, the next is first name, last name, email, address and other details of the person. So here we have received all the responses from Google Forms. We are going to use the same response in order to map the details over here. So first of all, let us map the first name. We just have to select our previous step like this, and here are all the details. So the first name is given over here. We will simply select it and it is mapped. Now because we are mapping the data instead of entering it manually, therefore every time a new response will be captured in Pabbly Connect, automatically these fields are going to change according to that new response. But if we will enter the data manually, then it will become static and it is not going to change with every new response. Then the workflow is going to stuck. Okay, so therefore in order to automate the entire process, we use mapping, and mapping is very important step of every workflow. The next is last name. So in the same manner, we will map the last name also, email, and some of the details are not mandatory over here, so I am ignoring them. You can definitely add them if you want. So I will directly move towards phone number, and we will map the phone number, and done. Okay, so we have mapped all the necessary details. Now let's click on save and send test request, and here we can find that we have received the response and the status is approved, and we have also received an ID for the registrant. So because we have received this ID, that means a new registrant has been created in GoToWebinar. Let's go and check, and we have this Connect Integration webinar. Let's refresh the page, and here we can find that it is showing 2 registered. Let's click on it, and yes, a new registrant has been created over here with the name as test user and the email as test500@pabblytunes.com. Okay, that means our workflow is successful up till now. So we have successfully created a registrant from Google Form responses. Okay, now let's cross this and we will go back on Pabbly Connect. And now our motive is to send an email to this person who is recently added as a registrant in GoToWebinar. Okay, so let's click on the plus sign to add one more action step here. And now I am going to select Gmail as my action application to send the emails. You can also use any other application. Okay, so I'm going to select Gmail here. And in the action event, we will select send email. Click on connect. And from the given options, I'm going to select add new connection. If you already have an existing connection, you can also go with that. Click on connect with Gmail. And now we have to select the account. And after selecting the account, Pabbly Connect is asking us for the permission to access our Google account, and it is 100% safe. So let's click on allow. And our authorization is successful and Gmail account is connected with Pabbly Connect. Now let's move on, and we have to enter the details over here. So first of all, it is asking us for the recipient's email address, and we want to send the email on the mapped email ID. So here simply we are going to map this particular email ID in recipient email address. Okay, so let us map the email ID. So we have mapped this email ID so that it could change with every new response. Okay, now the next is sender's name. So from what name we want to send the email. So here I am going to enter the sender's name as Pabbly. Okay, and the next is email subject. So what subject we want to send in the email. So I want to keep the subject same for every email. So therefore I am going to type it manually. So here my subject will be registration confirmed. Done. So because I have typed this manually, it has become static now and it is not going to change with every new response. So every time an email will be sent to a new person, this subject is going to be same. Okay, now let's move on, and here in the email content type, we have to select the plain, and now we will enter the email content. Okay, and now in the email content, we have to enter the body of the email which we want to send. Okay, so I want the content of the email as hello, and here in the place of name, I'm going to map the first name so that it could change with every new response, and we can create a customized email format for each and every person. Hello test, this is to inform you that we have received your response and your registration is confirmed for the Connect integration webinar scheduled on 31st October 2023, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Kindly join on time. Thank you, team Pabbly. Okay, done. So this is the content of my email. I have kept it basic. You can definitely enter the content according to your choice. Okay, now let's move on. And here, if you want to attach any file, PDF or document along with the email, you can enter the name of the same here in this field, and you can also attach the URL of that file in this particular field. Okay, now because I do not want to attach any file, therefore I'm ignoring these two fields, and we will click on save and send test request. And here we can find that we have received the response and the status is sent. That means the email has been sent on this email ID which we have mapped. Let's go and check. And here we can find that yes, the email has been received. The subject is registration confirmed. Hello test, this is to inform you that we have received your response and your registration is confirmed for the Connect integration webinar scheduled on 31st October 2023, and this is the time. Kindly join on time. Thank you, Team Pabbly. So this is the email. So this means that we have successfully built an integration between Google Forms, GoToWebinar and Gmail. In the same manner, you have to build this integration so that you can automatically create a registrant from Google Form response, and an automated email could be sent to the same registrant through Gmail. Okay, now we will do one more thing. We have to go on the spreadsheet, and then we will again go on extensions. And here, by going on Pabbly Connect webhooks, this time we have to click on this send on event button. Okay, so when we will click on it, we have made sure that every time a new response will be captured here in this particular spreadsheet, automatically the response will be keep on sending in Pabbly Connect without any manual efforts. Okay, so therefore we have selected send on events. Okay, so this was the full workflow, and these are the steps which we have to follow in order to create this workflow. I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you for watching. Not only these applications, but you can easily integrate many other applications by using Pabbly Connect. Now, if you have any doubt, you can easily email us at support@pabbly.com. If you want to ask any query, you can easily reach out to us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you are having any pricing related issue with Pabbly Connect, you can easily reach out to the website given over here. Now, if you find this video helpful in any way, do not forget to share it with your friends. And also, please like our videos and subscribe to our channel to learn more such automation.